Hi there, George Winkelmann, myself, Guy Wehman, and Christmas is right around the corner. And George, you wrote a fantastic thing called Francois the Pig, 'Twas the Night.
Yeah, it may have been a mistake, but I was inspired in my youth by the Fred Waring recording of "Twas the Night Before Christmas," and just enamored with it, and it stayed with me. And one day, I had the idea of creating this fictional pig named Francois, who's an architect, and I thought maybe it would be fun to try doing The Night Before Christmas with Francois. So that's how it came into existence.
And then we went into the studio, we recorded this, not the actual words that you wrote.
Right.
For Francois, and put little sound effects with it, and then you had one of the gals at the office draw the pig.
Right, draw the pig, and you stuck in barking dogs and jingle bells and sliding barn doors, and Francois and The Night Before Christmas was born.
All right, right here on YouTube, you're going to be able to enjoy "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" by who?
Francois Le Pig. Francois Le Pig. How's that?
That's great.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the barn bog, not a creature was stirring, not even a hog. The hoof wraps were hung on the burn barrel with care, in hopes that Saint Francois soon would be there. The piglets are nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of candied cobs danced in their fat little heads. The sow in her kerchief and I in my cap have just settled down for a long winter's nap.
Lay down and shut
Went
up,
out
you
in the
fat
yard,
slob.
there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my straw to see what was the matter. Away to the barn door I flew like a thief, tore out the latch bar and threw open the leaf. The moon on the crest of the newly wet mud gave the luster of midday to the dirty brown crud, when what to my wondering eyes should I see but a rusty old wagon and 8 dogs with fleas, with a fat dumpy driver so lethargic and big, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Pig. More rapid than groundhogs, his coursers they came, and he grunted and shouted and called him by name. Now dumpy, now lumpy, now dirty and bag, on rummy, on dummy, on flabby and sad, to the top of the trough, to the top of the wall, now roll away, roll away, roll away, on. As blimps that screw a wild hurricane lumber, when they meet with an obstacle, fall down and plunder. So up to the barn top with the fatso they flew, with a wagon full of junk, and Saint Francois too.
Hey, Francois, who are you calling fatso?
I heard all the howling as the dogs tried to fly, but the effort wasn't enough to move the pig's hulk to the sky. And then, in a twinkling, I heard the faint sound of the digging and scratching of each little hound. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the back door came Saint Francois with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, and his head must have hurt, for his clothes were all covered with fresh mud and dirt. A bundle of junk he had flung on his back, and he looked like a water buffalo just opening his pack. His eyes, how bloodshot, his dimples, how deep, his cheeks like tomatoes, his nose like a beet. His mouth was as big as a potato bin, and his suit was half covered with 6 folds of chin. The stump of a cob he held tight in his teeth, and the stench looked like smoke in the shape of a wreath. He had a broad face and a fat round belly that shook when he laughed like 100 pounds of jelly. He was fat and sloppy, A right jolly old pig. And I laughed when I saw him in spite of how big. With a wink of his eye and a twist of his neck, one chin hit me and I was down, but what the heck. He made not a grunt, but went straight to his work, putting junk in the stockings. Man, what a jerk. And laying a hoof beside his great nose, he looked at the chimney knowing up was no goes. So he clumped through the stalls, leaving mud on the floor, and removed his great hulk through the barn's double door. He sprang to his wagon, to his team gave a grunt, and away they all ran with the pig. That's a stunt. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all,
All right,
and
all
to
right.
all
The pig's
a
leaving.
good night."
Get back in bed, fatso.
Well, I hope that your Christmas is really quite big. Merry Christmas to all from Saint Francois le Pig.